Okay, now we're going to take a look at the self-defense triangle. If I have Stephan in my closed guard and he's looking to hit me, I pull him down, I control the head, I control the arm, and now I could go direct to the self-defense triangle, or just for good practice, we're going to get out on our side, get this shin in, grab the wrist, and get to this damn good guard here. When you're here, the pinch is the priority, but you can bring this foot in front as well. This allows you a little more posture control here. Now, I'm going to bring this knee out and over top. What allows that is, just conceptually, the fact that I'm on this side of Stephan facing that way. If I was facing this way, obviously that gap between me and his elbow isn't something I can attack. So I bring that knee through here for my damn good guard, hook that shoulder, this foot comes up and over, and now we're going to look to establish a triangle choke, which, if you're a little newer, the basic recipe for a triangle is one arm of Stephan's between my legs and one arm outside. So one of my legs under his arm, one over his other shoulder here. With that damn good guard set up, here we have the opportunity to weave one leg out and get it on top here. Now, the most basic triangle finish, one, I want to control his head so he can't posture up. Two, I'm going to grab my shin and put my left foot on his hip. I'm going to rotate myself here and now rebite. So I open this knee while still holding my shin, squeeze my knees tight together, flex that foot, pull it down, bring the second leg on top, adjust from the outside, and these flexed feet make a big difference here. I'm going to pull down on his head, lift his hips, or lift my hips, and squeeze for the finish. Now, how is this different from a regular triangle? Well, the main things we have to consider are what changes in a fight that he could hit me. So, when we're in the damn good guard, here, we come out here, we have wrist control here. Typical triangle, I'd be going pure focus on the head because I want to avoid strikes. Notice I can either keep this wrist or make sure in another way, probably a forearm block, that his arm can't hit me.
Because what you want to avoid is this.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other consideration is, in a typical triangle, I will bring this arm across here, and this can help prevent or make it harder for him to hit me with that arm because his shoulder's a little more turned here. I don't personally feel that step is all that vital, and one of the benefits for self-defense is that this arm of his is trapped under this arm, under my left arm. So from here we grab the shin, I control this arm, we rotate, I open up that space, and let's rotate it back. One thing I'm doing when I open up that space, look how my knees pinch together. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Now I bite, second leg comes on top here. Can you hit me?
Not at all.
Right. So now we can finish. Now, some other considerations. Stephan's a big guy. He may try to lift me up off the ground and slam me Rampage Jackson style. I immediately have to come under his leg with my right arm. If we rotate, being here makes it very difficult for him to lift me up. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult here. But what's the big problem? Yeah, I can get smashed right here. So if he decides to stand and I decide to move on, I have to address that arm. So I'm going to come here. Okay. Now, notwithstanding the fact that I'm putting him to sleep, I've made sure I can't be hit. Again, safety and protection, survival is our top priority. We also can hurt him. Okay, and this is if we end up doing an MMA guard down the line, we'll get into more depth with how to strike from the bottom, especially in submissions. There's some really devastating things. We'll look at some basic concepts here. So, one more time. Top priority. I don't let him hit me. I pull him down. I get out. Shin inside is really the key to the damn good guard. Now I push away, slide here, and I'm pinching here, knees tight. Now my right foot comes out, over, and then I use my left leg lifting my hips, pointing my right toes to the right. I come all the way here. Grab the shin, rotate, rebite here. So, one, you okay?
Yep.
One, we can be attacking all sorts of submissions right here, which we'll talk about. But, again, can you hit me?
Not right now.
We recognize he can't. So, can we hit him? So yes, but we talked about for someone to have power, I'll loosen the triangle for you.
Thank you.
For someone to have power, they need enough distance. I'm actually too close to hit him. So a shorter tool, the elbow is pretty good, and this is not uncommon to see people elbowing here. But the most powerful strike, and again, in an MMA guard, this would be a little more, we'd be able to go in a little more depth, but I can create space here. And this, for me, is the most devastating strike that you can produce, because besides the fact that it's a 12-6 elbow, I'm not just coming here with the power of my lat, which is itself very strong. I'm coming with my hip. So the Gracie brothers talk about when you're using some very violent techniques, think about what the person would have to do to you or be willing to do to you for you to be willing to use that technique. So for me, I don't want to have to hurt anyone. So this would have to be a very serious situation, because that strike, that can be a very, very damaging blow. Your lat itself, this is outlawed in MMA because it's such a strong, sharp strike, and that's without the power of your hips. So that
your targeting also is up here, which is going to bleed. You're going to bleed like the guy who's getting hit is going to bleed like a stuck pig. That's going to get cut. Blood's going to be running all over his face.
And it won't just be up here. It'll slice down. So big big tool in our arsenal. Hopefully we don't ever have to use it, but it's there. Priority number one when you're attacking the triangle in self-defense, make sure they can't hit you. Number two, make sure they do not lift you up off the ground. And on that point, I was at my first time training second time training outside of Canada at the Gracie Academy in Torrance, like 96 or 97. It was one of the first Pan Ams, and there was a bunch of Brazilians there to train, and one of the Brazilian black belts was training with this really big, like overweight blue belt. Got him in a triangle, and at the Gracie Academy at the time, they had they were very self-defense oriented, as they still are. The blue belt picked the guy up and slammed him on his head, and the guy started complaining, and then Hoist was like, "Hey man, you should have let go of the triangle." And if you go into a tournament and say jump guard and the guy slams you, on the one hand, yes, he broke the rules, so it's his fault. But someone might break the rules in any circumstance. So if I got slammed, I almost want to take responsibility. Rafa Mendes in Abu Dhabi 2013, I think, ended up with a triangle. The guy was stood up with him, standing, and Rafa knew the guy in Abu Dhabi, you can slam someone to get out of it. He knew he let go of the triangle. For me, that's smart jiu-jitsu. Leo Vera in the same tournament, someone jumped back. He had back control, and he jumped like this. Leo Vera let go of the back control to do a break fall. For me, that's good jiu-jitsu, right? To prioritize your own safety over the outcome of a match allows you to continue that match, right? So one really important point that we did not get to cover, Stephan goes to hit me. Boom. Here, I pull him down, hips out. And just a side note for a second, you don't have to stop here. This is basically the setup for the triangle. You can go straight to it, or as we talked about, you can stop here and talk to them, do some damage, whatever. So we slide here, we get this going on. However, I'm finishing my triangle. If Stephan does start lifting me up, and I wasn't able to, boom, I let go. I'm not going to take the risk that right. If you've ever seen Rampage Jackson and Ricardo Arona, that's a testament to
the power of the slam.
The power of the slam, and the importance of letting go. Never let someone lift you off the ground. In judo, the match stops because they recognize that could be death, right? So safety first, submission second. Okay, so if I've pulled Stephan down, I wrapped up his head here. How would I go to the triangle without stopping in the damn good guard? Well, let's make it super basic start. If he starts hitting me, boom, we're here. Okay. Now I push his arm away with my knee and I slide to that wrist. I thread the needle here if I have the flexibility. If I don't, here, I just can't get my foot out. Another option that's the same thing I would do if he's skilled and he's holding my thigh. Now I can't get that leg through. Or, again, I just can't because of my lack of flexibility. I punch his hand to my thigh so that the motion is going in this direction, and then I kick my thigh out of the way so that his arm is now pinned. Now I go over here. Now, this will often, if you're say, a little broader, maybe more, little stockier, if you're not as flexible, you may find that even if you have this, it's hard to get out, you'll come here. Now, if that's true, then sometimes even just getting the triangle itself is tough. Now, with the triangle here, with the right leg on the neck, let's rotate slightly. With the right leg on the neck here, we're looking to get this ideally in the crook of the knee. Okay? I can probably finish him without it. But if you're a little wider and you find it tough to get there, cross your ankles the other way, get the bulb of your knee on the inside of his neck, the other one on his shoulder, and just squeeze right here. Okay? If you need extra power, you can come behind your own legs here. Very, very strong variation. Okay? Now, I said that I didn't like to pull this arm across. There are a few reasons that are more about stopping an advanced person from escaping. But one of the benefits of it is that even if, say I can't finish my triangle, because of the position of his arm, he's in an armbar the entire time here. Notwithstanding that we have ways to transition into other armbar attacks. Okay? One of the reasons to bring the arm across, however, is if he's someone that, say, I'm worried about biting. This now makes it right. It makes it harder for him to get access to my torso. And if I want to avoid him biting my leg, I have two options. I can twist his head this way while I finish, or the opposite, and make sure his chin is on. Now, if I go this way, the triangle gets much tighter. Here.
So you roadhouse my head,
Basically.
rip my neck, but by turning it, you're bringing your leg right under my chin, so I can't bite anything.
Right.
Or by aiming my face towards my own bicep, the only thing I can bite is my own bicep.
Right. Now, the last thing to consider for this self-defense triangle is just someone who maybe is trying to rip out or trying to stack you. We'll look at the rip out first just so we can see the concept. Meaning he's trying to stand up and just pull out. So number one, he's trying to stand up. Go ahead. I have to come here. Okay. But now the triangle may be a little tough. Look how stacked I am. So it's rare. We'll talk at other times. We talk about when it's okay to cross your ankles in a triangle and when it's not. This is one of the times it's okay. So I let go of the triangle, I come here, and now, boom, we finish here. So one more time. I was coming here, he goes to stand. I don't trust the stand, so I always hook the third arm behind his leg. Boom, easy.